Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning in to the day's energies, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. Thank you. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Thank you. What's the outcome and advice? Thank you. All right, let's turn these cards over. This is a new deck. Because of all of your suggestions on tarot decks, I've gotten several new decks. This one is the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. I'm loving it so far. The illustrations are gorgeous. They kind of look like collages. Gorgeous. So here we are. In the overall energy, we have temperance showing up, balance, bringing things into balance, alchemizing. A lot of times when I'm alchemizing energies, emotions, coming back into balance, it's labor. It can be at times a labor to feel those emotions, to not repress, not suppress, not to blame and project your emotions outward, but being willing to feel your emotions, to feel whatever is arising when it arises. I'm also getting that element of patience here. Patience while you alchemize. It feels like this is a very self-loving activity. To love yourself, to be patient, to have emotions. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to have feelings. And to learn how to take care of yourself, to bring yourself back in balance before you take action, before you speak, before you make the next move. It feels wise too. All right, what's this? Hey, thank you. Holy cow. What's this wise temperance here in the overall energy? Yeah, it feels like things are slowing down purposefully. You're slowing down so you can alchemize, bring yourself back into balance. Okay, these cards came out as a challenge to this balancing energy. If I can get a hold of them. Seven of Pentacles, the Moon reversed, King of Pentacles, and King of Cups. Coming out as a challenge to this temperance. It feels like you've been focusing on something. Whatever you focus on grows. And it looks like you've been consciously growing something. Whatever this is, it is Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. It feels like it's in the 3D. Whether this is a project, a work project, growing your abundance, whatever this is. It feels like right now, while you're alchemizing, while you're rebalancing, while you're being willing to feel how you're feeling, so you can process through those emotions, those feelings, so you can sit with them and be okay, so you can create. Hi, they've been so loud. Hi guys, nice flyby. That's JJ, the first flyby, both Boo Boo and JJ. Nice. Oh my goodness, again. Oh, thank you so much, guys. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, there's also the birds outside my window are flying by. Wow. All right, so while you're alchemizing, while you're taking the time it takes, being patient, to find the right balance, to find harmony, to find the right frequency and vibration to get back on an even keel. It feels like you're really determined with the Seven of Pentacles to focus on what you want to see grow. Feels like you want to work, but you can't work because you got these emotions in the way, or these feelings. And moon reverse, some emotions coming up to be felt. Emotions maybe that you've repressed, suppressed. So when I've suppressed emotions, when I feel like my emotions are inconvenient because I've got work to do, I've got things to do, then I'm trying to work, trying to get things done from an out of balance place, being not balanced, not harmonized. And I don't get the work done effectively. And it feels like there's a lot of anger from repressed emotions. Anger feels like your anger that it feels like these emotions want to be felt. They want to be expressed. They want you to listen to yourself, to pay attention, to hold space for uncomfortable emotions instead of maybe habits or of repressing, suppressing, ignoring, avoiding emotions. Feels like there's a lot of judgment if that's the case. Maybe you were raised where certain emotions were acceptable and other emotions were bad. And so if you had those bad emotions, you're a bad person. And so if that's the belief system, something similar to that, then you repress because you don't want to be bad. And so you repress those feelings instead of examining those feelings, feeling those feelings. What is this emotion telling me? Your emotions are indicators, trying to tell you information. And if you suppress and if you see your emotions as bad, then you're seeing an aspect of you as bad. And you miss out on figuring out what those emotions are trying to tell you, what type of guidance, what type of information they have. So it feels like I might be talking to somebody who's doing some processing, some alchemizing of emotions, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong. There's a lot of self-talk. It's okay. It's okay that you have emotions. Maybe you're reparenting yourself. Maybe a little bilateral, kind of side to side, either this way, or you can tune your eyes and kind of retune. It's okay that I feel this way. It's okay that I have difficult emotions. My emotions do not make me who I am. I'm learning how to feel my emotions. It's okay to feel my emotions. So you're kind of neurologically resetting your relationship with your emotions. They're important, especially if you want to manifest, if you want to be more conscious. It isn't about being a picture of perfection, whatever that is. It's about being a full person. What I'm tuned into is someone who wants to be fully embodied, be able to understand their emotions, process their emotions. All right. As it looks like when your emotions are coming up to be felt, that it's hard for you to maintain an image of stability. It's hard to work. It feels like it might be affecting some of you in the 3D, maybe around your work and emotions. And you might be attracting people who trigger those emotions. And I am not seeing people in your environment who trigger and activate something within you as necessarily bad. They're a reflection. Everything is a reflection. And if you don't like the reflection, who's showing up, how people are showing up, if you try to change the reflection, if you don't like who's in that mirror and you try to change the mirror, you're missing the opportunity to focus on where the real change can happen within yourself. And it feels like on the other side of being willing to feel your emotions, it's okay. It's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel these emotions. And it's all right to express them. It's okay to express my emotions if it doesn't hurt me and if it doesn't hurt others. Just those safeguards. How can you express your emotions? Maybe journaling, through some type of artistic expression, through exercise. A lot of times when my emotions feel overwhelming, exercise is the best way for me to kind of burn through those emotions, to feel them and process through. Feels like a lot of you are recognizing and taking responsibility for your emotions. They're yours. If you make someone else responsible for how you're feeling, then you're giving your power away. Then others can control you, manipulate you, yank your chain. But if you recognize your emotions as yours and you learn how to sit with them, process them, you become more emotionally mature. You understand your emotions, and then it helps you understand others who are in their emotions. It creates emotional IQ, emotional EQ, and emotional stability, where others can't take advantage of your emotions. If you see your emotions as fully, someone else did this to me and now I'm feeling this way, you're missing an opportunity to take responsibility for your emotions. All right. In what's hidden, oh my gosh, great imagery. Mastery of Cups, King of Cups. Beautiful, powerful. The King of Cups also came out as a challenge to this temperance energy. This is what I was just talking about, being emotionally mature, being able to process your own emotions, being able to understand your emotions. And so when you get activated, you recognize, triggered, activated, that's you getting triggered and activated. Someone might have done the triggering, the activation, but they're not responsible for healing you. They're not responsible for getting you back into alignment. If those are your beliefs, then you're giving your power away. All right. Page of Swords reversed, 9 of Wands and 4 of Cups, coming out to clarify this emotional maturity. Yeah, Page of Swords in reverse. It feels like someone says something, 9 of Wands, you get very defensive. Okay, this feels like how maybe you were raised. that someone says something, they trigger something, activate something within you. And what I'm seeing here is just a defensiveness, because there's no understanding of what that activation is. Feels like feeling you might have been raised where in a family that does not know how to repair, blames, you made me feel this way, so you're bad. I'm not seeing any repair here. I'm feeling a disconnect. When someone says something negatively, that, or says whatever it is, and it activates, it triggers something within you, it feels like you can't, I'm also seeing you can't, it feels like the only way, because there's no repair, I'm not seeing anything other than creating protection from yourself, for yourself, protection between you and triggers. So if you grew up in an environment where everyone is triggering each other, but there's no emotional maturity, then it looks like a lot of very immature people, emotionally immature, going around triggering each other's emotions, consciously, unconsciously, purposefully, not purposefully. A lot of defensiveness, a lot of confusion around emotions. And it feels like a detachment from emotions, because there's no mature understanding of emotions, of how to deal with them. And it feels like just letting go. Emotions are bad. Emotions get me in trouble. Emotions are the problem. If you grew up in an immature home and you've got big emotions, if you're sensitive, then it feels like your family of origin just wanted you to shut your emotions down, seeing you and your emotions as a problem. And so maybe you saw you and your emotions as a problem, that you were too much. I'm getting something in what's hidden here about really elevating and maturing in your emotions, despite how the family of origin, there we go, was raised. We've got the Hierophant, and then coming out as a challenge, the Six of Cups reverse, family of origin, and Ten of Cups reverse. A lot of emotions, a lot of repressed emotions, uncomfortable emotions. It feels like a family system where nobody's happy. Everybody's wounded and upset and yanking each other's chain. It looks like that's kind of been the family pattern, the traditional way, the way you were taught to believe about emotions, that emotions are bad, and so if you have bad emotions, then you're bad. And so it feels like you're learning a new way, learning how to process your emotions. It feels like you're getting to work on that, on your emotions. Understanding, creating a new dynamic. Anything else in what's hidden? Thank you. Five of Swords reverse, Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups, I'm seeing more emotions. It's a lot of emotions in what's hidden. I think there's been a lot of fantasies. Okay, so if you didn't know how to deal with your emotions, and you're in an unsafe family of origin where your emotions, your very sensitive emotions, your big emotions, are manipulated, and you've got to, it feels like you're having to be in survival, protecting yourself. And you might have spent a lot of your childhood dissociating instead of feeling your emotions, because it doesn't feel like you were in a supportive household. They cared about you or your emotions. They just manipulated emotions. And so you might have created idealized fantasies that you even projected on your family. This is care, this is love. So you projected love where there wasn't love. And that might have been carried on into adulthood, into friendships, relationships, romantic relationships, where you fantasize, where you projected that this is love, that this person cares about me, even though they might not. It might feel more like neglect and a lack of care, and needing to protect yourself might be, and it feels like, if that sounds familiar from your family of origin, that you got used to projecting fantasy over everything. I'm loved, I'm cared for, this is great. And so you might have attracted friendships and relationships where the people don't really care about you. They might not even like you, but that feels familiar, and you project kind of an idealized fantasy because you love yourself as a child, as an adult, and you want love for yourself, but it feels like you've been confused around your emotions. But it looks like you're changing that. You're getting to work and figuring out and understanding your emotions and understanding your past with emotions and why it's been so confusing. All right, in the outcome and advice, we've got the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. Is that really 3? It looks like... Oh, let me show you. Getting to know these great new illustrations. All right, it's 5 of Wands, not 3 of Wands. Had to put my glasses on to see that. All right, 5 of Wands and 8 of Cups in the outcome. It feels like you're walking away from an old way of relating to your emotions. Walking away from outdated beliefs. Walking away, even though there are attachments. Okay, so there's emotions, but I'm also getting a fiery energy here. Why is the 5 of Wands in the outcome and advice? Snakes are oftentimes fear and control, guarding portals, guarding what you want is on the other side of fear of the unknown, fear of whatever the fear is that's guarding. Ooh. Death card, King of Swords reversed. It looks like you're really letting go of being able, of allowing someone to manipulate you. King of Swords in reverse. Manipulate your thoughts, manipulate, it feels like in this reading, your emotions. Cutting out with the Death card. It feels like you're getting to a place where you're maturing so much in your emotions that you can't be manipulated through your emotions, be taken advantage of. All right. Anything more about this 5 of Wands action, taking action, chaos. Feels like there's some type of change. Ooh, Hanged Man reverse, 6 of Wands. Getting out of, okay, so it looks like what I'm seeing here is you're patiently, temperance, being willing to feel your emotions, feel your feelings, maturing in your emotions. And so you're on the other side of maturing, of being willing to feel what are your emotions and process them, understand them, not feel them in an intellectual way. Because sometimes I see people come in, and I too was like this when I started, before I started my psychic work, kind of hanging out, not in my body. My body felt uncomfortable. And so I was just kind of like maybe in my head space a little bit, but uncomfortable in the physicality with the emotions. But if you don't populate your body, if you don't embody your energies, then who is? It leaves your energy open for others, for beings, and makes it more difficult for you to take command of you. And what I'm seeing here, if you're willing to take this patience to learn, to grow, to understand your emotions, you become unmanipulatable. Can't be manipulated. And it looks like once you process through and go through this kind of taking the time it takes, on the other side of that is a glow up, is success. Because you understand yourself, you understand what your emotions, once you feel your emotions and be willing to feel what you're feeling, then what I've noticed is there's wisdom that comes on the other side of trauma, even healing from trauma. There's this huge uptake. You don't have to stay, if you don't want, stuck in perpetual victimhood. You can really learn, and you don't need from outside. It's all right here. All the change, all the healing here. If you need someone else to change or to give you something or say something for you to be able to heal, then they have got control over you, right? So taking your power back by healing what you have, and it leads to a glow up. All right. And it feels like it's your willingness to walk away from an old way of viewing emotions. Being able to feel those emotions, process through. Yeah, and it leads you to being able to have energy. A lot of Sagittarius energy in this reading. Fire. It feels like that water from your emotions can get you watery, watered down, waterlogged. And so once you process through and be willing to feel your emotions and temper those emotions, feel them, then it gives that fire, and then you have the energy to take action. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.